I think my music is the thing that I'm probably most insecure about. It's tough, it's hard, and I think a lot of people have a lot of things to say. And I think I've also done some things that have fueled that fire.
At one point, JoJo Siwa was the crown jewel of kid-friendly entertainment. Bow-wearing, rainbow-loving, and relentlessly positive. But today, she's barely recognizable. Gone are the glitter, the unicorns, and the bubblegum brand. In their place, a bold, edgy persona drenched in controversy, meme fodder, and the kind of content that makes people ask, has JoJo Siwa completely lost it? Or is this the smartest rebrand we've seen in years? The internet has been obsessively watching her descent, or evolution, depending on how you look at it. It's been messy, fascinating, and at times, just plain bizarre. From her viral Karma performance, which left viewers stunned, to accusations of queerbaiting, clout chasing, and cultural appropriation, JoJo's transformation hasn't exactly been smooth. And yet, like a car crash you can't look away from, she's everywhere. On TikTok, she's a trending topic. On YouTube, commentary channels are dissecting her every move. And on Instagram, she's posting unapologetically with captions like, "You thought I fell off? I just switched lanes." So, what's actually going on here? Is JoJo spiraling under the weight of childhood stardom? Or is she weaponizing controversy to maintain cultural relevance in a digital world where fame fades in seconds, unless you provoke? To understand this rebrand, we have to go back. JoJo Siwa started her career on Dance Moms, where her extra personality made her an instant standout. She parlayed that into a multi-million-dollar empire, complete with bows, dolls, merchandise, and a lucrative partnership with Nickelodeon. By the time she was 15, she wasn't just a performer, she was a brand. But here's the thing, branding a child with that much intensity almost always comes at a price. JoJo was locked into a persona she could never realistically grow out of, and the moment she tried to evolve, fans and the internet pushed back. Her first major shift came with her coming out in 2021, a move that was widely celebrated but also incredibly high stakes, given her core audience was made up of children. For a while, it looked like she might transition smoothly into young adulthood. But in 2023 and 2024, something changed. She went from being the safe, sparkly role model to being chaotic. Suddenly, she was posting risque dance videos, wearing dark makeup and edgy fits, and singing songs with aggressive lyrics that felt miles away from the JoJo we knew. It was shocking, and for many fans, confusing. But let's talk about the Karma backlash a little more. That performance didn't just spark memes, it ignited a wave of genuine discomfort. Viewers weren't just laughing at JoJo, they were confused, even secondhand embarrassed. Many accused her of trying too hard, mimicking Miley Cyrus's Bangers era but without the artistic clarity. Some compared her stage presence to a high school theater audition gone rogue. But here's what people missed. JoJo wasn't trying to be polished. She was trying to be viral. The dissonance, the chaos, the mismatched vibes, it all made you look. And that's the point. In today's content economy, aesthetic doesn't matter as much as reaction. And JoJo? She's a master at triggering reaction. Still, you can't ignore how intense the public criticism has become. Entire TikTok threads are dedicated to dissecting her dance moves, her lyrics, even the way she talks. She gets accused of queerbaiting when she dresses in mask-coded fits, and then gets slammed for being too feminine or playing it safe when she leans back into more traditional looks. It's a lose-lose scenario that other ex-child stars, like Demi Lovato or Bella Thorne, have also faced. But JoJo's case feels even more extreme, because her brand was so squeaky clean for so long. Every deviation now feels jarring, and it makes people ask, is she actually okay? Let's go there, because it's not just a rebrand. Some people genuinely believe JoJo's going through a mental health crisis. The rapid swings in image, the over-the-top interviews, the hyperfixation on proving that she's not a kid anymore. To many, it reads like a breakdown in real time. But to others, it's just what happens when you grow up in front of the world with zero room to breathe. Imagine never having a normal 13-year-old phase. Never being allowed to experiment privately. Now imagine doing all that soul-searching, identity-building, and mistake-making in public, and having people monetize your every misstep. And speaking of money, there's another layer to JoJo's story that's often ignored: the industry machine behind her. JoJo isn't just a person, she's a product. Her face has been stamped on everything from backpacks to Lunchables. That kind of commercial success doesn't happen without a lot of people pulling strings behind the scenes. So when she started to deviate from the family-friendly script, it wasn't just fans who freaked out, it was business interests. Suddenly, brand deals started to vanish. Nickelodeon quietly distanced itself. The safe, sellable JoJo was no longer viable, and that forced her to double down on the new persona. If she couldn't be the golden girl, she'd be the villain. If she couldn't be palatable, she'd be polarizing. Either way, she'd still be talked about. Ironically, some of the harshest criticism JoJo faces comes from within the LGBTQ+ community, despite her being one of the most visible, openly queer entertainers in Gen Z. Why? Because identity is complicated. Some say she leans into stereotypes too much. Others think she's not queer enough. It's the same paradox that so many LGBTQ+ creators face when trying to represent themselves authentically while still navigating the gaze of a mainstream audience. JoJo's flamboyance makes her a target, but her attempts at seriousness also make people uncomfortable. It's a no-win situation unless you accept the truth. There is no version of JoJo that will please everyone. And then there's the generational divide. For Gen Z, JoJo is chaotic but oddly relatable. Her cringe moments aren't seen as failures, they're seen as content. Aesthetic doesn't have to be perfect if it's memeable. But older audiences often don't get the irony. They see JoJo dancing like she's possessed and think, what is happening? But younger viewers see the camp, the spectacle, the post-ironic performance art of it all. In a way, JoJo has become the Andy Kaufman of TikTok. You're not supposed to understand her. You're supposed to react to her. One of the more bizarre twists in this saga was the viral commentary that suggested JoJo was becoming a trad wife. The idea came after a string of videos where she cooked, cleaned, and dressed in more conservative styles, completely at odds with her usual persona. Of course, the internet ran with it. But here's the thing. JoJo isn't a trad wife. She's just unpredictable. One week, she's doing spiritual cleanses and meditating in Bali. The next, she's dancing in fishnets to a hyperpop remix. The inconsistency is the brand now. But the wildest part? It's working. Every time she's cringe, she trends. Every time she releases a new look, it becomes a meme. The outrage cycles into more views, more clicks, more attention. Even if you hate her music or think she's doing too much, you're still watching. And JoJo knows that. In interviews, she leans into the chaos. She said things like, "I'm not here to make you comfortable. I'm here to be real." But what does real even mean when every move is monetized? Is JoJo being authentic or just strategically polarizing? That brings us to the people profiting off her rebrand, the commentary world. YouTubers, podcasters, even news outlets are using JoJo as content fuel. Her rise, fall, and reboot is a perfect narrative arc, one that repeats itself across celebrity culture. First, we put them on a pedestal. Then we get bored and tear them down. And finally, we either forget about them or rebrand them as cautionary tales. But JoJo isn't disappearing. If anything, she's evolving faster than the internet can label her. She's chaotic, sure, but she's also self-aware. She knows how to bait the algorithm. She knows what gets clipped and what gets shared. And in a world where relevance is currency, she might be one of the most effective players in the game right now. JoJo Siwa isn't trying to make you comfortable. She's trying to stay in the conversation. Whether she's dancing like a fever dream on Fallon or posting chaotic montages with intentionally unhinged captions, there's always a method behind the madness. She's not trying to be perfect, she's trying to be unforgettable. And in that sense, she's already succeeded.